I want to talk to you about emergency business lines of credit with no social security number required. So here are the top lenders that I want you to really pay attention to this year. So if you're looking for emergency business lines of credit with no SSN required, you want to think about National Business Capital, NBC. So basically with NBC, you have a lot of flexibility. And here is a business line of credit for emergencies, no social security number required. So basically, NBC is pretty flexible in the sense that they allow you to actually use their business line of credit for all kinds of emergencies. For example, natural disasters, medical crisis, operational disruptions, supply chain interruptions, legal emergencies. So that's pretty good. If you have, let's say, a lawsuit and you just need some kind of a cash, like if you need extra cash to take care of the lawsuit, basically you can actually borrow from NBC, National Business Capital, to actually take care of urgent legal disputes or compliance issues that demand immediate financial response. Okay, and with NBC, you actually can have an emergency business line of credit, no social security number required, that can go all the way to $250,000. So they'll give you anywhere from $10,000 all the way to $250,000. So that's pretty good. And basically, in terms of the APR, you are looking at 5% all the way to 15%. Although you will see that in some cases they can go all the way to 18%. Okay. So bottom line is, when it comes to the emergency business line of credit, no social security number that you actually get from National Business Capital, everything depends on your financial profile, but also the history you had with them. And by the way, the emergency business line of credit I'm speaking about is unsecured. So there is no collateral to pledge here for you to have access to the cash. Okay. And so you can actually use an emergency business line of credit for all kinds of businesses. I mean, NBC has no restrictions on that front. So like seasonal businesses, startups, small retailers, event planners, restaurants and cafes, tour and travel operators, freelance and consulting services, real estate developers, manufacturing units, and tech startups, among others. So that tells you a lot about the flexibility that comes with an emergency business line of credit from National Business Capital. If you're looking for emergency business lines of credit with no social security number, I want you to think about Excel Capital. So when you think about Excel Capital, what I want you to think about is affordability, but also flexibility. Okay, here is a lender that actually will work with you to make sure that you get funded real fast. So that's really good from a flexibility point of view. They will work with you just to make sure that you get access to the funds real quick. But also you have to make sure that you also have to have the right paperwork. So if you want to really get access to your cash, basically they can give you up to $250,000. So if you're looking for an emergency business line of credit, no social security number, Excel Capital can give you all the way to $250,000, $250,000. Okay, and the cool thing about Excel Capital is that when it comes to emergency business line of credit, if for any reason you don't let's say qualify for their emergency business line of credit, they have other funding options. They have a merchant cash advance, so you can actually qualify for an MCA through them. If you actually have like a sales electronically, you can also apply for a short-term loan with Excel Capital. So this is also a pretty powerful. And but one thing for sure, before actually applying for an emergency business line of credit, no social security number. Just make sure that you get your paperwork together. So Excel Capital wants you to have both 4 months of your most recent bank statements and 4 months of business credit card processing statements if your business accepts credit cards ready before applying. So this is the paperwork you have to really finalize before reaching out to Excel Capital. And so if you have a negative cash flow and poor loan payment history, you're not going to qualify. Those are actually stuff that they do not work with, especially if you have bankruptcies also. So this is important. And they want you to have actually, if you want to get an emergency business line of credit, no social security number that's above $150,000, you want to gather additional paperwork. Now, the additional paperwork will depend on Excel Capital. They might ask you for your tax returns, by the way. So, but hey, listen, it is what it is. If you are looking for an emergency business line of credit, no social security number required, I want you to think about Quick Bridge this year. And Quick Bridge does a great job in terms of getting you access to the cash real fast. And Quick Bridge is actually more generous than Excel Capital and National Business Capital in the sense that they are giving you twice as much in business line of credit. So National Business Capital was giving you up to $250,000, right? Same thing for Excel Capital. Quick Bridge is giving you up to $500,000. So this is if you're looking for an emergency business line of credit, no social security number, basically up to $500,000. That's really good, and you can receive funds within days once you qualify. There are no hidden fees. And you do have early payoff discounts in case the loan is structured. The line of credit is structured in such a way that you are able to pay off real fast. Okay, you do have with QuickBridge, you do have a simple application process. So this is kind of cool because you have the possibility to actually apply real fast. And so with an emergency business line of credit, no social security number required. You can pay for repairs or any disaster related expenses. You can cover actually operational business expenses, okay, payroll, utility bills. I mean, stuff happens, insurance. You can replace equipment failures. You can invest in personal protective clothing, PPC, or safety gear for staff, okay? And this is kind of cool. So overall, when you think about QuickBridge, think about flexible use of spending and also fast loan decisions. So QuickBridge actually offers financing. Actually, they offer a short, simple application so you don't get bogged down in paperwork and requirements. And if approved, you can expect to receive your emergency business line of credit, no social security number required, in as little as one business day. So this is kind of cool because it gives you a lot of affordability, but also let's say flexibility when it comes to the use of loan proceeds. So QuickBridge is pretty flexible on that front. If you are looking for an emergency business line of credit, no social security number required, I want you to really think about Advanced Point. So Advanced Point, so the full name is Advanced Point Capital. So here is a lender that's pretty flexible too. Okay, so Advanced Point actually allows you to get an emergency business line of credit, no social security number required, for all kinds of like uses of loan proceeds. You have cash flow, you have working capital, you have advertising and marketing, you have repairs, you have inventory and supplies, you have payroll, you have general emergencies, you have also accounts receivable issues. So sometimes clients, or let's say customers, don't pay invoices on time, causing a cash reserve crunch. Lending options such as an emergency business line of credit can offer the necessary bridge funding. Okay, so when you think about the Advanced Point, I want you to think about the fact that you have interest rates that start at about 1% per month. You are able to draw a set credit limits. You only pay interest on the balance, and you do have revolving terms. So that's really fantastic. Okay. So in addition to emergency business line of credit, no social security number required, you also have emergency small business loans. You have merchant cash advances. So I'm just telling you everything that Advanced Points actually offers. You have business cash advances. Okay. You also have invoice factoring. So if for any reasons you do not qualify for an emergency business line of credit, those are the options you might want to think about. And so for invoice factoring, this is actually an area where Advanced Point is pretty well known because they allow you to actually have like it's a really a great solution if you want to accelerate your accounts receivable. And factor cost starts as low as 1% of the face value of the invoice. So that's really important. And credit of the issuer is not a critical factor, opening the door for your business if you have a range of credit profiles to benefit from this financial tool. So that's really fantastic. So if you're looking for an emergency business line of credit, no social security number, I want you to really consider Advanced Point this year, especially if you want the cash real fast because they can fund you within a day. By the way, it doesn't matter where your business operates at. So the city and states of your business doesn't really matter. If you're looking for emergency business line of credits, no social security number, I want you to really think about Clarify Capital. So this is actually a great emergency business line of credit, no social security number. So basically, you are able to use cash from this lender to handle urgent expenses with a low rate business line of credit. And the cool thing is that you have lines of credit ranging from 10,000 all the way to $5 million. So you have clear terms and no hidden fees, low interest rates. You are able to receive funds in 24 hours or less. That's really powerful. So you have a fast application and instant online approval. So this is kind of cool. So by the way, the funds are released within 2 days. Okay, maximum 2 days. Okay, and I mean 24 hours. But if you ask for if you ask for a large business line of credit, it might take a while. So the cool thing is you are speaking about instant financing from Clarify Capital to cover your business expenses. So this is kind of cool, and you are able to use an emergency business line of credit, no social security number required, to actually for a couple of things. For instance, maintaining payroll, covering overhead costs, purchasing equipment, covering delayed payments, purchasing inventory, marketing and advertising, refinancing debt. So this is kind of cool. I'm just giving you a possible uses for the loan proceeds, at least uses that Clarify Capital accepts, okay? Because they will ask you, what do you need the money for? They will ask you. So maintaining payroll, for instance, this is a pretty good reason. I mean, you want to pay your employees on time and in full, especially during low sales seasons or other economic downturns. And instead of layoffs and furloughs, your business can retain the right talent to meet its business goals. Okay, and you want to do this across the board, because otherwise, if you have a high attrition rate, that's going to impact your business real bad. So Clarify Capital is actually a great business line of credit, no social security number required for you, and this is kind of fantastic. And by the way, Clarify does other stuff. So if for any reason you want other other types of funding, they'll take care of you in terms of business term loan, working capital loan, equipment financing, invoice factoring, merchant cash advance, or SBA loans. If you're looking for an emergency business line of credit, no social security number required, I want you to think about Shield funding this year. So, Shield funding is actually a great lender. Basically, you are able to get anywhere from, it really depends, but you can get actually a maximum of $1 million. So, from $1,000 all the way to $1 million. So, this is really good. So, you are able to get things done a lot faster. But Shield funding does have a few requirements they want you to really meet. Okay, so at least 3 months in business, 530 minimum credit score. So you got to have a FICO score minimum of 530. You got to make at least $10,000 in revenue monthly. So $10,000 minimum monthly revenue. And if you have any questions, it's just a lot better to call the company. Okay, you can either submit your online application by clicking apply when you go to the website, or you can just call 1-888-882-6117. Again, the number is 1-888-882-6117. So this is actually will kick off the process. Okay, so they will finance you up to $1 million, and when it comes to emergency business line of credit, no social security number required. So one thing I want to say here is that basically, if for any reason you don't qualify for the emergency business line of credit, no SSN, you can apply for a small business loan. You can apply for an unsecured business loan. You can have merchant cash loans, working capital loans. So that's really good. That's really good, especially when it comes to the terms and conditions, because you do not want to have a loan or line of credit, for that matter, that really charges you a crazy interest rates. Okay, and so one thing I want to say here is that you are able to work with Shield funding to actually get your cash real fast. One thing I want to say here also is that regardless of the method you use to apply, Shield funding, once you are approved, they will release funds real fast. They are really fast in terms of releasing the funds, and this is kind of cool. You can rely on shield funding as a decent lender for emergency business lines of credit. No social security number required. If you are looking for emergency business lines of credit, no social security number required. I want you to think about UpWise Capital. So, UpWise Capital actually will give you anywhere from like $50,000, I mean 10,000, not 50, $10,000 all the way to half a million. Okay, so that's actually how flexible UpWise Capital is. So you are able to actually use the cash for all kinds of stuff. I mean, Upwise Capital is pretty flexible in the use of loan proceeds or in the use of business line of credit proceeds. So you can use the business line of credit for working capital, to meet payroll, to purchase inventory or materials, or address almost any other emergency or opportunity. So that's pretty good. So basically, the APR is kind of decent too. You are looking at 7% all the way to 25%, and so this is really good. And basically, if you consider Upwise this year, the possibilities are endless. Basically, Upwise wants you to really have they will work with you. Okay, they'll work with you to make sure you have access to the cash you need. Although basically, Upwise does have some revenue requirements. So there are cases depending upon the city and state where you are actually applying from. They might actually ask you to have a annual revenue to meet a certain requirements, and this can be, and also a time in business. Time in business 1 year, but also annual revenue. You're looking at somewhere from $10,000 to $15,000 a month. Okay, so this is the monthly revenue that they might ask for. But beyond that, they do not ask for social security number. They will look at your cash inflows and cash outflows. Okay, and they might ask you for actually 3 months of bank statements to analyze, let's say, your liquidity trends to see if you are actually making some cash. And also, they might ask you for tax returns. They might ask you for your 1065, your 1120s, or your 1120. So depending upon the specific legal structure that your business has. So, in conclusion to this conversation, I spoke to you about emergency business lines of credit, no social security number required. And I give you the top lenders and now the conclusion. Top lenders include National Business Capital, Excel Capital, Quick Bridge, Advance Point, Clarify Capital, Shield Funding, and Upwise Capital. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.